Good morning. For the purpose of this course, I'll be imitating a Houston firefighter discussing fire safety. So we're going to cover a few things, so let's begin. First of all, fire safety is very important. But to realize that there's a lot of stuff that goes into fire safety. A lot of things have happened in order to reach the amount of safety that we have currently in our building structures here in Houston, Texas. You know, fire safety comes to like anything else, but when it comes to this, usually we have education, enforcement, and engineering. Now, education just being knowledgeable of what's going on. That's very important because a lot of the things that people get fined on or what causes major damage is just the simple fact that they don't know, or they just haven't been exposed to the information that's out there, or they're not current and updated with new regulations and new codes, federal or local. And that is very important. Education is probably the most important one out of the three. For being knowledgeable of what you're doing, especially in the fire safety field, when it comes to fire protection, can save lives, and that's pretty much the main goal of any fire code, fire safety, anywhere. And so that's very important. Now the other two, engineering and enforcement. Oh, let me go back. A lot of the new information can be found on either the OSHA website, which is OSHA uses CFR 1910 for a lot of their regulations. Here in Houston, the Houston Fire Marshal webpage or office, you can call to gather information. That's where a lot of information here in Houston is pretty up to date, or should be up to date, if they're doing their job properly. So, like I said, enforcement, engineering, they pretty much come together. Engineering is pretty much eliminating a hazard or something that can be very dangerous, that can cause damage in the long run, or prevent something from happening even bigger. No, engineering, as part of the safety world comes, is getting rid of a hazard before it's even a problem. Enforcement, well, they're just ensuring that people are following regulations. They're not out there looking for trying to find people just on purpose or that nature. I hope not. That'd be unprofessional. But it's the purpose just to ensure that safety is all around, and we have to maintain that. So those are the three E's in fire safety. Very important: education, enforcement, and engineering. Now, who applies jurisdiction? Well, it's federal and local, OSHA, and the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office. Those are the two people here in Houston who you call if you see something hazardous, or you're building not up to code, or if you're trying to get permits in order to build a building, in order to be operational properly and to meet all standard and codes. So we're applying the standards before, not after we're finished building the building. So we're just ensuring that everything is done properly, and that's what the Fire Marshal's Office does, along with the Harris County Permitting Office, who go over all them things as well. Also, the Harris County Engineering Office, who go over plans and things of that nature of new structures that are being built here in Harris County. Those are things that how jurisdiction is applied. You have to meet their standards in order to be in compliance here in Harris County. So as jurisdiction, we follow the National Fire Prevention Association. Has a lot to do with what we do here in Harris County, along with anywhere in the nation. They're nationally a national agency. They're the national agency, and they're probably the ones who pretty much set the standards for fire resistance and the building materials used in buildings. They have certain kind of tests, so they have a certain kind of test along with another agency that's called the American Society of Testing and Materials. That's the standard which most people use. It's called the ECHO 119 Standard Testing Method for Fire Testing Building Construction Materials, and that information can be found on www.astm.org. You know, there's tests like the NFPA 251 standards of test. Those they determine the test of the fire resistance. And what they do, they test material and relative fire endurance conditions. Well, in fire conditions, varying certain temperatures of a load. And that's very important because that sets the standard where material is vulnerable to collapsing or just not doing what it's supposed to do. You know, those tests are important because with all that information provided, you have to be in compliance by the Harris County Fire Marshal Office, the National Fire Prevention Association, to even be eligible to apply for a permit. You know, and if you don't have those things, your permit's not going to pass. Your project's not going to be approved. Your project's not going to be approved, and you're going to be, well, not starting over, but we're doing a lot of work that's unnecessary. In closing, look up the fire prevention. Look up all the information you need. You know, we all have to work together in order to help meet standards and compliance in order to save lives, which is the overall goal of anything when it comes to safety, fire, or anything in this subject. So I thank you for your time. Stay safe, and thank you.